I'm Martin Nolan, Executive Director of Julien's Auctions. We are the auction house to the stars. So we're here on the TCB, Taking Care of Business bus.
It belonged to J.D. Sumner's and the Stamps back in the late 70s when they toured with Elvis the last 4 or 5 years of his life.
When you look around, you get a real sense of Elvis Presley. And in fact, the purchase of the bus was funded by Elvis Presley.
J.D. Sumner's and Elvis were the best of friends, on top of J.D. being his backup singer in his band.
Sweet, sweet spirit in this place.
Growing up, Elvis had a love affair. He loved gospel music, and that was sort of like his strength. He always deferred back to the gospel music.
Elvis met J.D. Sumner's when he was just 13 years old in Memphis. J.D. was performing with the Blackwood Quartet at the time.
They became very, very good friends. When Elvis moved to Memphis, Elvis used to go into the Ellis Auditorium to listen to J.D. Sumner's perform with the Stamps Quartet.
There was a sing down at the Ellis Auditorium, which was 2 blocks from where he lived in the housing project. He was always at the sings. And then 1 month he missed, and the next month he came back. I said, "Son, where were you last month? Why didn't you come?" He said, "I didn't have enough money to buy a ticket." I said, "Well, you won't need any money from now on. I just come to the stage door. I'll let you in for nothing."
J.D. would allow Elvis to go into the auditorium for free.
And they stayed friends from that point on.
Because literally he didn't have the 50 cents that he needed to pay for the entrance.
And so later, when J.D. Sumner's and the Stamps were touring and on the road, they were always Elvis's backup band. And they were an integral part of his backup band because of the gospel element that they brought to it.
And in fact, they became such good friends, almost like brothers. From '71 until Elvis's last concert in 1977, J.D. Sumner's and the Stamp Quartet were part of the supporting band on tour with Elvis.
J.D.'s daughter tells the story that they were sitting there hanging out one day, as they often did, and J.D. and Elvis were talking about a tour bus, and Elvis handed him a blank check and said, "You need a new tour bus, fill the check out, go buy you a bus."
Of course, J.D. really was reluctant to take any sort of financial funding from Elvis, but he accepted a check for $25,000, which you will see here on this bus, a copy of that check.
And that was the down payment on the bus.
And the deal was that when the bus arrived, J.D. Sumner's would allow Elvis to drive the bus, and Elvis, there was no restriction on where he could or could not drive the bus.
Elvis came and said, "Okay, I'm ready to drive the bus," and he gets in it and they take off, and the whole time J.D. is thinking, "Oh my goodness, there goes my brand new bus."
And Elvis said, "Hey, if I break this one, I'll buy you another one." And so Elvis did get to drive the bus. He drove it out of town from Graceland, and then realized didn't know where he could turn the bus. Obviously, it's a big tour bus like this, and so this bus was driven into a cornfield and back out again onto the road to turn and head back to Graceland.
But Elvis was a truck driver, so it wasn't anything for him to get behind the wheel and take off in it because he loved to drive.
So, the deal was kept, and JD got the $25,000 check.
And from that point, it was JD's to spec out and have it custom built to fit the needs of he and his band.
I can't imagine there's any other tour bus certainly, that was driven by Elvis Presley, so that's really a unique commodity that we're bringing on the auction block.
We brought it back to Tupelo and totally renovated it to the best that we could to its original state.
JD had the bus completely decked out, and what we would say is a huge tribute to Elvis Presley, because you see the TCB, Taking Care of Business, the name of Elvis's backup band, with the lightning bolt on the side of the bus. Bus is in great condition. I mean, you can see from where I'm sitting, it's automatic transmission, there's 3 air conditioners on board. The bus actually seats 12 people, and 9 people can sleep with individual sleeping berths with new mattresses, new sleeping berth curtains. There's a safe, there's a microwave, there's a fridge, there's even some Elvis Presley albums on board. I mean, it really is in great condition. You're buying actually a working bus, but also it's almost like a mobile museum and a great tribute to Elvis Presley.
When you step on it, it's like stepping into a piece of history.
So the bus is actually going on the auction block May 16th at the Hard Rock Cafe in New York City. Perfect venue for our annual Music Icons auction. Fantastic Elvis memorabilia. tour bus will take center stage. So this is a huge event, it's an annual event, and the fact that Elvis Presley is so well represented with many, many important items from his life and career, and of course the tour bus will be an added bonus for those true Elvis fans.